everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. So, whether you're stepping into an international business meeting or, just trying to make friends while traveling, mastering English introductions is absolutely key. Let's be real for a second. Meeting someone new, it can totally induce that universal panic, especially if you're like me and literally forget their name the second after they say it, right? Well, today, we are completely decoding the unwritten rules and vocabulary to help you navigate those nerve-wracking first impressions. We're going to make you feel completely natural when meeting someone new. Think of this as your ultimate survival guide for English social etiquette. By the end of our time together, you're going to have the exact methods you need to navigate any social situation completely smoothly.
To get us there, we're going to follow a chronological roadmap of an actual encounter. First up, introducing yourself confidently. Then, we'll look at how to introduce others. Third, we'll decode the secrets of formal titles. And finally, number 4, the art of ending conversations.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, introducing yourself confidently. So, English introductions generally split down two distinct paths, formal and informal. Now, the formal approach, that's your go-to for professional settings, or maybe when you're speaking to someone in authority. Here, you're going to use the complete phrase, my name is, and you follow that up with both your first and last name, like, my name is Molly Stone. It really establishes presence and respect. But on the flip side, if you're just among peers or at a casual get-together, you can totally just say, hi, I am, followed by just your first name. Hi, I am Molly. It's so much warmer, it's quicker, and it instantly breaks down those social barriers. The trick here is just reading the room, just picking the right tool for the job. Now, once names are exchanged, or maybe someone just introduced themselves to you, there is a golden rule for what comes next. The phrase, nice to meet you. Honestly, this is the social glue of English greetings. When someone gives you their name, you don't just want to stare at them like a deer in headlights, right? You acknowledge the interaction with this simple, gracious sentence. Nice to meet you. Practice saying it smoothly out loud. It really should become an automatic reflex for you whenever a new introduction is made. And well, here's the other side of that coin. If you introduce yourself and the other person says, nice to meet you, you obviously need a response. The structure here is beautifully simple, but man, is it effective. You just take their phrase and tack on one tiny little word to the very end. Too. Nice to meet you too. See? This effortlessly returns the pleasantry. It signals that the feeling of goodwill is entirely mutual. It's kind of like a tiny linguistic ping-pong match that immediately establishes a really polite, balanced dynamic between two people who, let's face it, were complete strangers just seconds ago. Let's move to and see how this builds in Section 2, how to introduce others. All right, let's step through the exact formula for a highly formal introduction, particularly when you're dealing with high-level individuals. Imagine just for a second that you're introducing a doctor to a member of royalty. Step 1, you address that first person using their title and name just to get their attention. Dr. Curry. Step 2, you bring in the bridging phrase, this is. And step 3, you present the second person, again using their appropriate title, Princess Diana. So the full, flawless execution looks like this. Dr. Curry, this is Princess Diana. This exact structure, name, bridging phrase, name, is your absolute rock when you're navigating formal environments. But let's look at how this scales depending on where you actually are. This is a perfect contrast. The formal approach relies really heavily on titles and last names. Professor Smith, this is Dr. Jones. This shows immense respect for their professional standing. But hey, if you're just hanging out with close friends, that level of formality is going to feel incredibly stiff, almost robotic, right? So the informal style just strips away all those titles and last names, boiling it all down to just first names. Allie, this is Mary. Notice how it's the exact same grammatical structure, using this is as the bridge, but the vibe is entirely transformed just by dropping those titles. So the crucial point is getting titles wrong can be a pretty major pitfall, which brings us to Section 3, Secrets of Formal Titles. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly how the English system works. Formal titles correspond directly to gender and marital status. First up, we have Mr., which stands for Mr. This one is incredibly straightforward, honestly. It's used for any man regardless of whether he's single or married. Easy, right? Now, for women, historically speaking, the titles provide a little bit more demographic info. Miss is the title specifically used for a single, unmarried woman. On the other hand, Mrs. is strictly reserved for a married woman. Memorizing this simple 3-part matrix, it's going to save you from so many awkward moments when making formal introductions. Oh, and I want to jump in here with a very quick but absolutely vital pro tip. While we've been focusing heavily on spoken introductions so far, you're obviously going to need to use these titles in writing too, like in formal emails, invitations, or letters. The strict grammatical rule here is that you must always start these titles with a capital letter. Capital M for Mr., capital M for Miss, and capital M for MSS. It seems like a super small detail, but in formal settings, overlooking this capitalization can actually make your writing look pretty unprofessional. So always capitalize.
Finally, we arrive at Section 4, the art of ending conversations.
Think of these essential farewells as a little toolkit you can draw from, entirely depending on the context of your departure. Knowing how to make a graceful exit is just as important as the initial greeting. First, we have the gold standard, goodbye, or its much more common, slightly relaxed cousin, bye. This works in practically any situation. But if you want to be a bit more specific, you can use time-specific phrases. Like if you're leaving work and you know for a fact you'll be right back there the next day, you say, see you tomorrow. Or if you're parting ways with a friend, but you literally plan to meet up for dinner that exact same evening, you say, see you later. These variations not only end the conversation politely, but they also confirm future plans, leaving the connection really open and warm. So look at that. We've covered the entire life cycle of an introduction, from that very first hello to the final goodbye. Now, I want to leave you with a challenge. How would you introduce yourself right now? Seriously, if I walked into the room at this very second, would you use the formal approach or would you go informal? I highly, highly encourage you to mentally practice the formulas we just learned today. Better yet, make some simple flashcards and drill them. Mastery comes from repetition, for sure. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I absolutely can't wait to see you next time.